Hi, guys. Welcome to Parawomen Radio. How is everyone doing today? Well, Gypsy Rose appears to have a penchant for love triangles. First, there was the entanglement between Nick and Dan, and now there is a new triangle forming between Ryan and Ken. We all witnessed the dramatic conclusion of the Nick and Dan triangle, and we might even add Dee Dee in there to that triangle, leaving us wonder how this new one will unfold. Let's delve into the complexity of all my Gypsy Rose noses. Wait, no. As the Gypsy nose turns. Days of the Gypsy Nose Blanchard. You guys, it's a working title, but you get what I'm saying. I'm going to do a little bit of housework. Got my shout outs and thank yous that I need to do, and I'll see everyone on the back end. In fact, I'm going to start out my shout outs right now with a shout out to my replay crew. It's Wednesday, babies. You're almost to Friday. Hi, guys. Welcome to Parawomen Radio. I'm Amy.
Someday you'll know. Someday you'll know. Already know what I'm going to say. I've been feeling this way for far too long. And now you're gone. Took me away from all of my fears. Kept me away from all of my tears. Now you're gone. And now I'm lost. Finally, I think I can see clearly now. I'm in love. Think about me one more time before you slowly. I'm in love. Took me away from all of my.
Okay, is everyone ready to do a little Gypsy Rose talking? I have to say that I watched this video last night by I think her name is Becca Scoops, and I got sick, you guys. I got so sick because I used to be a Gypsy Rose stan when she first came out. I was like, yeah, she did her time. Come on, go Gypsy. But I just knew the stories she was putting out. And now that I know like the whole side, it started to be like, I'm not feeling as sorry for her, even though, because I would always fall back on my psychology and sociology degrees, and I just would always put that into play, but I don't think I can do much of that anymore after watching this Becca Scoops video, and we're going to watch some of it. And I've got some more things, some updates on what she's doing, the photos she's putting out. Before we get into that, if we could start the algorithm dance party that I like to do, just start warming up your fingers and dancing them up to the hearts and thumbs up buttons. We're coming to you on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. X, hi, X, and Twitch. Hi, Twitch. And hi to the replay crew. We're coming to you on all of those today. And just, keep hitting the thumbs up button and the hearts. It's just a free way to help us dance out into the algorithm. And it's really appreciated. Any little help. And also, if you like my content, please subscribe. That's another free way to help me out. If you don't like me, it's simple as just unsubscribing. Other free ways, if you are someone who doesn't have YouTube Premium, if the ads pop up, if you just watch them, that helps. And actually watching them in longer periods of time, that helps. So just anything you can do is just really, really appreciated. So let me see. Let me get my screen together and let's go. Okay, so I just want to take us back in time. Like I said, when Gypsy first got out, I was a real Gypsy stan. I didn't know what I know now. And I found this. Gypsy Rose wrote her fans a letter from prison asking for a favor. And this kind of makes me sick to think because I probably would have done this favor for her. Let me know down in the comments after you hear it. Would you have done the favor? Um, so Gypsy Rose, and we know she's out now. And this was written back in December of, no, it was published in June of 2023, and she got out end of December 2023. So it says Gypsy Blanchard, who is currently in jail for the second degree, and she was in prison, not jail. I think they're trying to make it seem less, prison sounds different than jail. For the second degree unaliving of her mother, had once written to supporters asking them to do her a favor. Dee Dee Blanchard was found unalived in June 2015, lying face down in her bedroom, with her daughter Gypsy later sentenced to 10 years behind bars for second degree unaliving. Her boyfriend at the time, Nick Godejohn, pleaded not guilty but was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. Since her death, it has been speculated that Dee Dee had Munchausen syndrome by proxy. And we're not going to actually watch this part of the video, but of Becca Scoops, because I couldn't watch her whole video and rightfully feel good about it. I want to encourage you to go over and watch her video. And this is her first video she ever did. She just really nailed it. But she talks about where did that diagnosis for Dee Dee come from? And you would think, well, medical professional. It came from medical professional. No, didn't come from there. It came from a TMZ. I don't know for exact, but it's like a fake news source coined it, and everyone just jumped on it. You're gonna have to watch the video because we're not going to be into that point. But yeah, this video has just totally changed my mind about everything. I'm actually pretty mad about it, to be honest, about everything she's doing. I know I'm mad about it because my cheeks are getting red. Investigators later discovered that none of this was the case, and Gypsy has maintained that her mother was controlling. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Since her death, her unaliving, it has been speculated that Dee Dee had Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a mental illness and a form of child abuse in which a caregiver either makes up fake symptoms or causes real symptoms to make it look like the child is sick. Dee Dee had claimed that her daughter had leukemia, asthma, and muscular dystrophy, as well as having the mental capacity of a 7-year-old due to brain damage. Investigators later discovered that none of this was the case, and Gypsy has maintained that her mother was controlling her through psychological and physical abuse. The pair had also received benefits that included charity-sponsored visits to the concerts and Disney World. Back in 2019, she urged her supporters to write letters on her behalf to petition for her release. In the statement released in 2019, she pleaded, "Hello, friends and supporters. I appreciate the continued encouragement throughout my prison sentence. Many of you have signed the free Gypsy Blanchard petition created by my father, Rod Blanchard. Now I must ask a favor. I am respectively asking all of you who wish to wish me an early release to please aid my father in his efforts for my freedom and write a letter expressing support for my early release to either the Missouri State Governor Michael L. Parson and or the Division of the Missouri State Board of Probation and Parole. And I'm sure many, many people did this, and it got Gypsy out with only serving 8.5 years behind bars. 8.5 years she did. And she's trying to make us believe that she's reformed. Now, there's a woman named Fancy Maselli who at one point was a Gypsy Rose stan, but she's not anymore. She's had a falling out with the Blanchards and with Gypsy Rose, who is a Blanchard, but like I'm talking about Christy and her family, Gypsy's family. And they have done some pretty bad things to Fancy. Now, I think Fancy has gone over the deep end. She's done a complete Thelma Louise and just says, woohoo, off the cliff. I used to put some stock into what she's saying, but she's murking up the waters. But she doesn't deserve to have like it be told that she has I don't know if I can say it, so I'm going to say lobsters instead of the word. But the same thing but smaller. And they would create cookie parties with a crab theme. So what do just take that with what you will. So they have been severely harassing Fancy. Now, there's this whole thing that I think is incredibly murky with Fancy. Is Fancy somehow obtained all of Gypsy's medical records, and she likes to put out those medical records, and then she also likes to read the medical records, which and she's adding in disorders. Like there's some chromosome disorder that she's saying she has. It's the same one that there was a character in American Horror Story, the Pepper, they called them pinheads, but I know that's like a bad term, and I don't know the medical term though. But she's saying that Gypsy has that disorder, which in it itself seems problematic to me. But like just sharing all of her stuff, her medical records, I don't know, feels like a HIPAA violation, but she's been charged with what she's been charged with. Does she have any right to that privacy? But that wasn't included in any of the discovery. Fancy got it on her own, but she would have had to have Gypsy's signature. So it's a lot. It's like just really murky how I feel about it. But ultimately, I don't think anybody deserves to be harassed online. And here Fancy is in her pay on, she does her lives with TikTok, and she also does her lives with YouTube, and she does it in a weird way that this is another reason I don't watch her anymore. She has two cameras going, and one is set to her left, and then one's right in front of her, and one's TikTok and one's YouTube. So she is turning her head constantly back and forth, but she ultimately always forgets one of the ones, and it's usually YouTube, and I'm usually watching her on YouTube, and then I get this side profile of her all the time, and I'm finding it. I don't go over to her very much. In fact, I kind of stopped going over to her. But over the weekend, when Gypsy was supposed to be living her best life in California, she went into one of Fancy's lives and harassed her. And then I think she had her TikTok banned, which I guess this happens frequently, and it's just like a 24-hour ban. But yeah, she took time out of her life in California to do this.
Well, good for her. She always watches everything I do. They all do. They watch everything I do. So, oh, Gypsy Rose.
And I mean, to be fair, Fancy watches everything Gypsy does. But also, to be fair, I don't think we would all know all that we know about Gypsy if Fancy hadn't started the charge, right? So, I mean, she is deserved her dues, but I just feel like she went over the cliff. But yeah, why are you in there bothering Fancy?
Entered with the check mark even. Oh,
and I mean, and Fancy's not on any kind of parole either. I mean, this is dangerous stuff that Gypsy's playing with. She just can't control herself.
I'll approve you, honey. Let's do it.
I can't even really stand the way that she started to talk. I feel like when she went to TikTok, her whole way of how she spoke has changed. It's just different. I don't know.
The check mark even.
I'm being hypercritical here. I need to back off a little bit.
And you want me to approve your comment? I'm obsessed. Yeah. I'm obsessed. No, honey, what I'm obsessed with is the truth, which you've never told once in your entire life. What I'm obsessed with is the fact that you unalived your mama because you wanted dick. You want to tell me more about how I'm obsessed, honey? Let's go. Apparently, guys, Gypsy Rose has decided to grace us with her presence over here on TikTok.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
You want to come up in the box?
That would be great.
You want to come up in the box?
She also has a new cohort. It's not Ryan. It's this new person. Actually, she's like different than Ryan because she will agree with everything, like how Ryan and they both agreed. She does agree with everything she says, like Ryan did, but this one, Fancy will just talk right over her. Like she's not even there. Like she's just there for the quiet moments when Fancy's thinking.
Gypsy, come get in the box and talk to us.
Let's do it. I have lots of questions for you. Oh, did you come in to violate me for harassment, honey? Oh, too bad. So sorry. How's California? You having a good time in your fat ass, fake pink ass dress?
Not a fan of her talking about her weight either. That's such low hanging fruit when people do that. Come on. There's so much more that you could grab for.
You do look fat in it. Just so you know. You asked. Do you look fat in it? You look like a slut in it. That's what you look like.
Why? Because she had something sexy-ish on, she looks like a slut. No Fancy.
Yep.
Nope.
You look ridiculous.
Ooh. How about this?
But it is ridiculous that Gypsy is in there. And I got to be honest with you guys. Back in the day, I used to love a good tit for tat kind of fight. You know, I was raised by a borderline personality. I know how to turn a fight around and so that I walk out smelling like roses. I know how to do that, but I don't do that anymore. And I don't grab for the low hanging fruit like this. I can't say that I'm innocent and I've never done it. So I do understand it and I do get it. But I do want to say, like, I always think that people, when they know better, they do better, because I do this. I feel like I'm better and I wouldn't ever do what they're doing, right? I wouldn't do this anymore. But I did it. But I learned, and I just hope that one of these people learns that this isn't, this isn't the way to communicate this. I don't know. I sometimes I feel like I'm too preachy, so.
Gypsy, come up into the box. Fancy won't ask you anything, but I will. Allow me to ask you one question.
Let me stop a second. Hi, Marcella, by the way. She says she did it to Nina and Ryan too. She blocked Nina and then sends her new man Ken to speak for her. In Nina's TikTok. Yep, she's She is panicking because Nina's not someone that will play. She's just like, you're trying to play me and I'm not having it. And so she's showing the receipts. The receipts that even though Gypsy said don't show, it's the only way that she can prove that what's going on is going on. But I do feel like Nina has kind of inserted herself into the story, but she's also taken herself out of the story again. Like she I think she realized that she was inserting herself into the story by communicating like she was with Gypsy. And so I feel like her latest content, normally I would have been like, but she asked you not to share that. But it's the only way she can prove what's going on. I'm not covering Nina today, but if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, just say, tell me more, and I'll do a live on it for you. But yes, Nina is not playing with Gypsy Rose. And I think Gypsy should just back off on Nina because she's not going to win with Nina.
She is a chicken. You're right, guys. She's a chicken.
I don't think she would do to Nina what she did to Fancy with like spreading the rumors about the diseases and having cookie parties and stuff like that. I just can't see Gypsy doing that to Nina because Nina would, I don't know. I just can't see her doing it. Can you guys?
A chicken that
and I'm talking about Nina, the beauty influencer. She's really popular over on TikTok. She has kind of a smallerish following. I mean, she has about the following that I have. I think she's at about 3K or something. So yeah, it's smallerish, it's micro-ish, but it's bigger over on TikTok.
Even unalive her mama by her damn self. If you wanted to do it, girl, why didn't you just do it? We all know
yes, she came in here. I may or may not have sent an invite.
So Fancy's going off.
Girl,
her cohort is trying to get Gypsy to come back. Just come in the box. Just come in the box. We're not going to be mean. Just come in the box. And in the background, Fancy's like, you unalived your mama and blah, 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 blah. And the other girl's like, we're nice. We're not going to hurt you. Yeah, right. That's Gypsy Rose telling us that, and she's not doing it. They're doing it to Gypsy Rose, saying that the sky is green and the grass is blue.
Nerve coming up in here.
Calling us obsessed? Really?
So she says that Fancy is obsessed. And of course, Fancy says that she's obsessed. But moving along, here we have, before we're about to watch the video that had made me sick and made me think about this video and made me think about the love triangle situation with Gypsy Rose, and it doesn't end well. And I just think, Ken, run. I hear that Florence and the Machine song playing in my head. Run like your mother, run like your father. Just run. Save your family. Save yourself. Save your unborn kids. Run. But alas, he's not running. He seems to be running in the opposite direction for whatever reason. But she also is very upset because Sunny, I think it's Huston from The View. We watched that on my last Gypsy Rose live, where they're talking about Joy and Sunny. They're talking about Gypsy Rose, and Sunny is questioning prison love in general. And then the comments made like, why they're you know where they are all the time. Har, 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 har. And Sunny's like, but when she gets out, you got to sleep with one eye open. And Gypsy is not happy about this.
On my end, she is very happy. Now we move on to The View, where Sunny Hostin actually...
And by the way, this person that we're listening to... Hold on, I got to put my... This person that we're listening to is Renelle Smith. She has a really good channel. She does a lot of Katie Joy MLM type. No, not I think it's just anti Katie Joy. Maybe she does a lot of sister wives stuff too. If you like that kind of stuff, it's a good channel to watch. She's highly recommended by Katie from Down the Rabbit Hole.
She made a comment
at bedtime
in regard to Gypsy's love life, and this is what she said.
I just don't understand prison love. I don't understand it. You know, you have
you know where they are all the time.
There's a lot of problems. I'm like, I have successful, beautiful girlfriends that can't get a date, and here she is, having been pled guilty to murdering her mother.
Orchestrating.
Well, she pled guilty to second-degree murder, though, and so she's.
And so the woman that's like orchestrating. How many people are in prison for life for orchestrating something and not doing it? If you believe she didn't have any hand whatsoever and just was in the bathroom the whole time.
Well, she's killed her mom, and you know, I don't know how you then start writing letters to her and then sleep next to her as a husband without like one eye open, because she killed a loved one. I just don't understand the whole fascination.
And Gypsy's response was, her comments are weird because she was so nice to me on The View. She was so understanding and sweet and wished me nothing but the best, Blanchard 32 said of Austin, whom she met back in January while appearing on the daytime talk show. Everyone was so supportive. I wonder why she turned on me. Gypsy.
Does this feel like she turned on her, or does it just feel like she gave Gypsy a little dose of reality? Gypsy does not like reality. She just can't do it. Oh my gosh. Hi, Heavenly. How are you doing, honey? I hope you're feeling better. She was lying on Nina. That's why Nina started to show us all the police interviews. Yeah. I don't fault Nina at all. Like if Nixie, if Gypsy had been upstanding on what she was supposed to do, then yeah, they both would have stayed quiet. But when someone is lying, I used to be of the mind, like if someone's lying about you, if you stay quiet, you know, the true truth will come true. But that's not true. That doesn't happen because people believe strange things and unbelievable things and things that you would never think they believe. So you have to tell your truth. You have to stand up and tell your truth. Because also if you remain quiet with a lot of things, then people are like, well, they didn't say anything, so it sounds like they agree or something. You know, you just have to state your truth these days. You just do. But there's a way that you can do it. And I think Nina's doing it in a pretty respectful way. Hey, Lexi. Lexi says, I don't think she'll mess with Nina either. Nope. Heavenly says, bopping in to say hi and love you. We love you too. You're on your way to a doctor's appointment. Well, everybody, if you could send Heavenly prayers and healing. She hasn't been feeling so well, and she's trying to beat a surgery. So blast her with some love, and that would be wonderful. She is a compulsive liar and a master manipulator. Ken is her karma. Good luck with that, Gypsy. I just find it so interesting, the obsession she has with Ken. And apparently she had that same obsession with Dan. We're going to get into this in just a minute. And it just makes me really sick. Thank you, Manda K. Yeah, I know. Prison love. Safe travels on your way. Okay, honey. So Gypsy loves her love triangles. She loves her love triangles. And she created one with her with Ken and Nick, and she even got her mom in that triangle, right? And she was in the middle of the triangle. And now she's in one with Ryan, her, and Ken. She's created another little perfect triangle. She just needs to add one more person and she can be in the middle again. But that's too much. She already got the target of who was stopping her this time. So who would be stopping her now? Who would be the target now, do you think? Do you think she's going to turn it directly on Ryan? Like, is Ryan going to be the target now?
Fiance. I first learned about Gypsy watching her story. Her story, just hit me. And I thought, gosh, she's cute. Like one of those things where I was like, Gypsy's very cute. Tiger King was very popular at the time. And so my friend said, oh, I really want to write Tiger King. And I said, okay, well, I'll make a deal with you. I said, you write Tiger King, I'll write Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And that's what happened.
I have so many men that try to date me or write to me or try to hit on me, but nothing and no one is gonna ever compare to the relationship that I have with Ryan.
My name is Ryan Anderson.
Okay. The grass is blue and the sky is green in Gypsy Rose's world. And Ryan, he bought it.
It wasn't that. It was the other way around. And that
I call bullshit. It was the what other way around? Millions of people have seen the act, have watched these interviews. Yo, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Other way around. He doesn't take accountability for nothing. Now the lookalike of the mother is speaking and saying that it was the other way around. Damn, bro, not you being manipulated by her too. I told y'all this shit was coming. Like, this shit is going to unfold.
And this is what...
God, she's so pretty. What are you looking at? I said, what are you looking at?
And this is what everybody predicted anyway. That was like no surprise. But I want to show you the ultimate love triangle that ended in the schmurder of her mother. And on Becca Scoops, she really hits it. It's just, I can't tell you how amazing I think this video is. And like, I highly, highly recommend that you watch the entire video. We're going to come in 8 minutes and 45 seconds in, and there will be stopping and starting for fair play use. Like I said, I will put the link to everything we watch and read down in the description. I urge you to go to those people's pages and watch it in its entirety, whether you want to do it slowly, fastly, all at once. For fair play use, I do this. This is all my opinion, and this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. And everything is considered fair play.
Contending, including law enforcement sources close to the investigation.
Okay, so I guess I forgot to tell one of the important parts of this too. She spoke off the record, and they wished not to be identified, with some police officers that were a part of the investigation.
That we spoke to is that this case was so complex and never fully investigated after the district attorney offered Gypsy a plea deal. Law enforcement personnel who wished to remain anonymous believed, and still do, that Gypsy was never telling the entire truth and is still selling the public and parole board untruths, allegedly, and in their humble opinions, of course. Our conclusion regarding Gypsy's medical history is that it's murky.
Wait a minute. I see Elizabeth Ross. I saw you yesterday and I thought, man, I haven't seen her in a while. I'm so happy you're in here, Elizabeth. I missed you.
At best. Allegedly, many of the procedures were needed, and some of them were not, and constitute medical abuse by Dee Dee. We acknowledge Dee Dee was an abusive and a master con woman who was hell-bent on gaming the system and ultimately gamed.
So Becca is very fair. She admits that there were these problems with her mother. Her mother was and did abuse Gypsy.
Entire communities. What she did to Gypsy was wrong, period. But did she need to die in such a heinous way? The question one law enforcement official close to the original investigation asked was, at what point did Gypsy move from victim to potential accomplice with her mother? Two things can be true at the same time, they pointed out. You can be a victim who then becomes a perpetrator.
And in fact, this is often the case because I can't tell you, like every child that I've ever worked, and this is S abuse, not any other. I think S abuse was in her background, but I don't believe she's S abusing anybody. Although she did agree with Nick that they would S abuse their daughter. That's in some texts. But the children that were S abused often, always in my every child that I had. Okay, so it it's not in every case, but every child that I worked with that was S abused ended up S abusing somebody later down the road and or while they were still children. So this kind of behavior perpetuates itself. And at what point do the victims become the perpetrators and are held accountable for that?
When we discuss motive for a crime, it's important to ascertain Gypsy's mind. Did she fear for her life? Was there no other way out? According to investigators close to the case, everything came to a head in 2011 after Gypsy meets a 30-something-year-old man named Dan Glidewell at a sci-fi convention. Witnesses reported Gypsy became obsessed with Dan. Glidewell gave sworn testimony in court about his relationship with Gypsy. Glidewell stated under oath that he kept in contact with Gypsy via video chat. He says that Gypsy told him her mother made her stay in a wheelchair and had unnecessary medical treatment. Glidewell testified that their relationship developed from friendship to a sexual relationship. They would send explicit videos to each other. He testified about how they role-played occasionally. He referred to Gypsy as being shy and timid. However, Dan also testified that he developed a taste of power exchange role-playing from Gypsy. That's right. This is a very important point.
So Gypsy is saying that Nick taught her the role play, and Dan is saying that Gypsy taught him the role play, the BDSM we're talking about.
Dan testified that back in 2011, the year he met Gypsy, he developed a taste of power exchange role-playing from her. He says she would send nude photos, dress up in costumes, and use various fictitious names. Glidewell says he was injured and that Gypsy visited him while he was in the hospital, not in her wheelchair. She told him she wanted to go to Arkansas to restart her life. As those in law enforcement pointed out, this sworn testimony contradicts Gypsy's narrative in many ways. She claimed it was Nick who led her into the BDSM world of role-playing, when clearly Dan claimed under oath it was Gypsy who introduced him to this role-playing power exchange.
And Gypsy knew Dan before she knew Nick. Just saying.
Could Dan be lying? Sure, he's a convicted felon. However, he has zero motive to lie about this. And in our opinion, and those we spoke to, Gypsy had a motive to paint Nick as the aggressor, where the role-playing turned into a very real-life crime.
You see what you guys are saying. Oh, good. It's always good to see you as well. Oh, my stars. I watched the video of Christy taking off Gypsy's sandals so she could play on the beach. And I'm like, Christy, is Gypsy a toddler? Because what was that? I didn't see that. But Christy wants to be in the mix. That's for sure. Yes, like a child. That's been M word will become an M word as well as was what I was going to say. Children are, impressionable, and behaviors and concepts start molding into their brains with repeating parents. Yep. And it didn't matter what the parents did to the children. When I was working in foster care, they wanted to be with their parents. They wanted to be with their parents. I had one family, little boys, and I think about this one boy all the time, and he had it the worst, and he was the oldest, and he was only like 8 years old, or 8 or 10, something like that. The father put a fork in his face, and he just wanted to be with his family. He just wanted to be with them. The mother had left, so it was the dad, and the dad looked like Charles Manson. No, I could go on and on about that. But anyway, they wanted to be with the parents. It didn't matter. So, and they repeat who and what the parents are.
This was integral to her narrative. It was integral to her plea deal, and it was integral for her to get early parole. In fact, when Gypsy's lawyer set up an appointment with a psychologist ahead of her parole hearing, she claimed something very different than Dan's sworn testimony under oath. Take a look at this.
It was probably a month later. He said he had.
Now, remember at the beginning, I read you this letter that she asked people to write to the parole hearing board. How many people would have maybe not?
The parole board often looks at these psychological reports to determine if a convict is ready for early release. According to the Missouri Law Review, while the process for conducting psychological evaluations varies state by state, it commonly includes an interview with the inmate by a trained psychologist. This psychologist includes in their report an opinion on a matter relevant to the parole decision. According to the report, the biggest factors for early release include the convict must be completely truthful about their crime. They must take full responsibility, and they must be sincerely remorseful. Dan Glidewell was ironically mentioned by both Gypsy and Nick while awaiting their police interviews right after being arrested. Many in law enforcement close to the case are alleging Dan remained one of Gypsy's biggest obsessions. In fact, Gypsy was caught on the interrogation video claiming she only knows 3 phone numbers by heart, and Dan was one of them. Nick also mentions Dan, saying, quote, "I'll apologize to everyone, but not Dan," end quote. Here.
What do you think that is about, with Nick saying, I'll apologize to everyone, but I won't apologize to Dan? And then we're going to watch a little bit more of it, and he goes on to have more of a conversation with whoever he was having the conversation with. And it's just, yes, and it's the other way around because she was doing it before Nick. Yep. She gets angry when people call her on it. Yeah, I'm surprised she's not trying to have this video removed. I don't think she maybe has saw it yet, or I don't know. That was embarrassing, taking off her shoes. She was almost 33 years old. Was she in her dress? Was that why she didn't want to? I don't know. Because maybe bending over with her nose, it would have taken like the blood to her face. I don't know. Society sees Gypsy now, and parole will be concerned a real joke in this. Oh yeah, in this country from here on out. It already is, but I think Nick has the frame of mind that he got fixated on her. He was literally bawling because he was so worried about her and afraid that he was never going to be able to hold her again. And Gypsy's in the other room flirting with the police officer. I think Nick has the frame of mind that he got fixated on her. Yeah, and there's even text messages that we're going to see that Nick thinks Gypsy's crazy. Nick thought Gypsy was crazy. That's interesting. He got fixated on her and he wouldn't have done anything to save her, so deeply involved, especially that he texted her right before they were arrested. Yeah, he was just very, very preoccupied with Gypsy, and Gypsy was not with him.
For those videos.
She was talking about Dan. Sorry, it's kind of like a nervous laugh too that I'm laughing. It's not funny.
So it was the only way to be together. I apologize to everyone. Everyone except for Dan. Dan's the only one I would not apologize to. Apparently she decided to just go with it. Like, screw it. Me, I actually held together until and then she didn't play.
The problem is I can't remember her number. God, it seems I only know like 3 numbers offhand.
I don't know as many as I should. That's for sure. Most of the numbers I know offhand are work numbers. Other than that, my mom. That's pretty much it.
The only numbers that I know offhand. My mom usually keeps all the numbers in her cell phone or on a piece of paper at home. And the only ones that I know are my mom's number, Nick's number that just got arrested, and my friend Dan's number, but we're not on good speaking terms. So.
As Gypsy awaited her police interview or interrogation, she chatted up a young detective. Our sources revealed senior detectives assigned this, quote, good-looking cop to stand in the doorway, hoping Gypsy would open up and reveal herself. Gypsy wasted no time boasting and engaging the young officer, first making it clear she's a good girl, telling him she went to the hospital very embarrassed.
Right? She sat. Sorry, guys, the big mouth of the South. He doesn't want to be contained in the other room. He was getting really loud back there. So I will be using my mic mute, but there's problems with that too. So, but Junie has joined the party.
Embarrassed to be in handcuffs, but she had to go because she had a seizure disorder and needed meds. Later, before her interrogation begins, she boasts about her great times at theme parks, her VIP status, and exclusive packages. Oh, and all the food and sugar she consumed while on these wonderful trips with her mother. She sees herself as a righteous character who does the right thing, knowing full well that she had orchestrated her mother's demise. It's quite shocking how she can say those words out loud and mean it. Gypsy's overall demeanor here says it all and told detectives all they needed to know about how just unaffected she was about planning Dee Dee's demise. Meanwhile, at the same time, this is so sad. A few doors down, as Nick awaits his interrogation, he was having a nervous breakdown, worrying about his true love, the woman he just threw his life away for. Take a look at these clips.
Oh my God.
I'll let her know that you want to make sure she's okay, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let her know that, and also let her know that,
about you.
yeah, that's what I want to know, is if she's thinking about me, because I've been worried about it. I have no reason to be, because I know she's a figure, but
She's not in any danger or any threat or any harm.
Exactly.
It's okay.
it's that I just, I'm older.
I know. And after these guys talk to you and that, maybe you'll get maybe you'll get the over again, okay?
Okay, I
All right.
understand. And I do thank you, like I said. I
Need some Kleenex?
Well, you
I'll get
take
you.
every sister.
All right, I'll get you.
I can't do it. I don't want to miss her anymore. I don't want to miss her anymore. I want to be older.
We also learned that Gypsy's penchant for violence
I just find that particularly heartbreaking to watch.
against her mother manifested in 2011 after Dee Dee thwarted Gypsy's plans to be with Dan, her 30-something-year-old paramour. Gypsy admitted to picking up a GUN and pulling the trigger 10 times. Granted, it was a BBGUN, but Gypsy said she thought it was real. Dee Dee was treated at a hospital, and the pair made up a story about being robbed at a Walmart parking lot. In our opinion, this pivotal relationship with Dan appears to be the motivating factor that leads Gypsy to start planning her mother's demise. Remember, this is a full year before she meets Nicholas Godejohn. Even Nick, who has an IQ of 82 and lives with autism, questioned Gypsy's relenting obsession with getting rid of her mom in a series of Facebook messages.
I have to ask you something. How crazy do you think Gypsy is? You won't hurt my feelings or anything. I really want to know, though, since I just obviously can tell she is. I just can't seem to put in words how crazy I think she is.
Like, oh my God.
It's interesting that he
thinks
those
she's
thoughts
crazy.
of her.
Yeah.
And the friend replies, well, I don't know how to put it into words either, but I'll be honest, I would not ever unalive my mum or anyone else unless they try to unalive me first. So the person's giving him advice saying, this isn't normal.
No.
It's a shame that Nick didn't take that advice. Things could have changed. He could have had a different story, maybe.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
he went on the path he went on anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go to the next text message, Mars. So Nicholas responds and he says,
Yeah, I know. I suppose situations change people, though, to where others are willing to do things that other people aren't. And obviously, my mom, even though she has been hard on me, overall, she has been a very good mother to me. So I couldn't ever do it to her. And the only reason I can understand it with her mom is because how unreasonably poor her mom treats her. But since it is a last resort thing, who knows? Maybe it won't ever happen.
And we know that Gypsy made Nick believe that her mother had caused her to miscarry this baby girl. She told her that she told him that she got pregnant at the Cinderella bathroom incident. And she told him like very soon after the incident occurred, and she would never have known that it was a girl yet. And so she made him believe that her mother was so violent with her that it caused her to abort her baby.
To happen.
It's starting to look like Gypsy's motivation to do away with her mother sprang out of this relationship with Dan. Dan's roommate wrote she, Gypsy, had fixated on Dan rather hard, and she considered him her boyfriend, although that was not the case. She thought he was her knight in shining armor. We had to ask, where is Gypsy's anger coming from? When her mom allegedly put a voodoo curse on her seems to have pushed Gypsy over the edge. This alleged curse had to do with Gypsy's relationship with Dan, Dee Dee proclaiming that Gypsy would never find happiness with him or with any man. This, along with Gypsy shooting her mom 10 times over Dan, shows the true amount of anger she was dealing with and probably never got over. Dan's roommate recalled Gypsy's anger, writing, quote, Gypsy and Dee Dee got into a rather heated argument of the kind one might expect between a mother and a teenager who feels that she, Dee Dee, was too controlling. Gypsy wasn't afraid to show her anger at all, end quote. Another neighbor said when he was alone with the mom and daughter that, quote, Gypsy showed a darker and secretive side, yelled at her mom at one point. It was totally an uncomfortable situation, so I pulled away.
There have been a few of these stories coming out about her not being the sweetie pie that she likes everyone to think she is. I'm trying to keep my microphone muted because he's really talkative, but I gotta unmute it and see what you guys are saying. Ruby Frankie says she's a good. Oh, does she? Yeah. That's. It just sounds so weird to say I'm a good girl when you're an adult. Since watching this case from the very beginning, I always thought it was weird with the fish pillow. I thought that was that her pillow or was that I bought that pillow for her at the hospital gift shop because they didn't know yet. You always thought it was weird with the fish pillow. Oh, Gypsy bought it at the hospital gift shop. I thought that pillow was part of the police interrogation room. I didn't know that Gypsy brought the pillow. He goes to show you how dumb her stepmother is that she allowed her to even talk about, yeah. I'm surprised that came out, but maybe it was gonna come out, the BB gun incident. Oh, I already did that one. She is truly sick in the head. She's dangerous. She's used to getting her way or no way, crazy, insane monster. It is good insight into Nick's state of mind. Yes, blame the feeding tubes. I believe she planned it from the start and she thought she could get away with it because all the lies. And yeah, she was used to getting away with lies. She was used to everyone just believing the narrative. The internet wasn't what it was before she went into prison. It had become quite what it is now. And she's getting caught in all these lies. But she's still managing to keep the mainstream media with her narrative for the most part. Some cracks are happening, but in reading, like everyone was like, oh, Gypsy Rose is in Hollywood and look at her new nose and her hair and she's an influencer and, you know, she's here and she's there. And few of them are picked up like she's in Hollywood, yet she's in this person's place and her DMs bothering her, or, you know, like she's in Hollywood, but she's in her husband's comments bothering him. So people are catching on here, but it's not as fast as I'd like it. And after seeing this video, it just makes me sick. I'm really sick about the whole thing because she has managed to do one of the biggest grifts on us there is. And it's still happening. So it's not even, you know, like we're watching it happen. It's just like, where is it going to end? Because these love triangles that she's addicted to creating are not healthy. And the last one ended in something huge. And is this one going to end in something huge? I worry for Ken. I'm seriously worried for Ken.
Later.
And I also seriously think, well, what do you
Gypsy told me she would do anything to get away from her mom, that she was being smothered and just wanted to live a normal life. She was so sweet, kind of scary, when mad though, end quote. Although we aren't doctors or psychologists, we have met our fair share of psychopaths during our careers.
I also do want to say that the people that created this video, it's police officers. She's a nurse, I think, and there's a doctor or psychologist involved in it.
Those who display signs and symptoms associated with antisocial personality disorder.
You're obviously going to keep telling me lies.
I'm not, sir. I'm not, sir.
Now you're going to be booked in for, later on down the line, you're going to be booked in for probably murder, okay? As long as, and with him as well, okay?
Right. I didn't murder my mom, sir.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You did, because you're behind it. You pulled all the strings on it, and you're behind it. I'm not listening, Gypsy. I'm not going to sit and argue with you about it, okay?
All I wanted was to come and get me.
No, that's not all you wanted. There's a lot more to this whole story that you're leaving out. I'm not going to play the sympathetic game. I'm not like that, okay? I can see right through it, okay?
Please, I'm not able to be in jail. I have a lot of medical needs.
I understand that, and they'll get taken care of, okay? So, sit tight.
I want a lawyer. Please, sir. Sir. I want a lawyer. Please, I need a lawyer.
Have a seat.
So she's like, shit, he's not buying this. What do I do? How can I make him believe me? He's not buying it. Why isn't he buying it? Lawyer. I need a lawyer. Lawyer. Sir. I need a lawyer. Yeah, I think he's really wound up, you guys. I'm actually trying to teach Junebug how to whisper. But he's so wound up, he's doing the I ate the baby shtick. So he does that the loudest. And he screams, I ate the baby. Wonder what the neighbors think. Junie, whisper. I ate the baby. I ate the baby. he kind of gets it too. He does get kind of whispery. Anyway, he's wound up today, you guys, and I can't do much about it. So yeah, she's like, a lawyer. I want a lawyer. I need a lawyer. So let's just move on. I will put the link for this down in the description. It's a great video. I encourage you to go check it out. So Gypsy's been active over on Instagram. Just here's her and Christy. This is one of her favorite pictures. Her book is coming out. Another nose picture. This was an interesting picture to me. I saw this pop up yesterday, and I had to lean in because I wanted to see just where everybody's hands and what they were looking like. And Ken has his hands squarely around Rod. Christy seems to be pulling Rod's hands forward because Rod looks like maybe because didn't Rod say that they didn't have good feelings towards Ken? But I'm sure they're trying to act like they do now. And, you know, they were at the jazz festival. And for whatever reason, Ken's with the crew. I mean, you got to start raising your side eye to Ken now, right? Ken's getting the side eye. What's wrong with Ken? The tattoos. Another tattoo. This is the TikTok she did with the makeup artist. Gypsy really got down. What kind of drink is that she's drinking? Is that like a... And why is it pink? Like, I think it's a lemon drink, but why is it, I don't know, pink lemonade maybe? On the beach. I'm trying to see if I see the taking her shoes off, but I don't see that. Here she is. Down the rabbit hole at bedtime, like talked about, like, this looks like a dance that her and her white friends did, like when they were in the 6th grade. She went to a sleepover and one of her friends made them do a dance to Snoop. And it looks, the choreography is about right. What is she doing here? Why is she doing that dance? Like, is there a reason why that's happening, or was she just having fun? Here she is over on TikTok. Let me make sure you're seeing it. Yeah, you are. These are music. They come with music videos. So she's like doing before and afters type deal. I think this is another before and after type one. Christy was doing her hair, must have been in New York or something, or I don't know. Christy was doing her hair, and now look at her now. A beach photo. I miss the beach. I got to go to the beach soon. And then a lot of the same photos. I don't know. Is this a music one? Oh, this is the, no.
Can't bring me down. I'm on a high right now. I'm living my best life, and y'all can't take that from me.
She left out the G is fire, though. And I took a quick peek over at like what's going on Nicholas's page, you know, and meanwhile, and this is going over on Nick Godejohn's Freedom Project. A mental health challenge post. You are stronger than you think post. Mental health services help if you need the Department of Correction, kind of talking about the mental health services at the, let me read this. The Department of Corrections provides a full range of mental health services through a contracted provider. These services are audited by Division of Offender Rehabilitation Services mental health contract monitoring staff to ensure that mental health care meets both current standards. What are the standards, though? And contract requirements. All offenders are evaluated during the intake process at the reception and diagnostic centers. Mental health screening and testing are utilized to determine if treatment is needed. Screening also helps determine what assistance offenders will need while incarcerated. Here is a snippet of the current mental health guidelines for Missouri correctional facilities. Yeah, but what are the standards? Just a quick message for those of you who email Nick. He is having trouble syncing his tablet, so he is unable to see his inbox. Oh, he's got a tablet. Tablets are just ways that the prison's making buku bucks off of the prison. Your answers are in. Remember those questions you guys had earlier this week? We were able to get all of them answered for you guys. We will be taking more questions next Tuesday. Stay tuned. Answers from this week's Q&A with Nick are over in our group. Come check out Nick's weekly Q&A, link in bio. Oh, I didn't know he had a weekly Q&A. Did you guys know that? No, I don't think he needs to be let out. Yeah, they probably, neither one of them should be out. Are they giving out the answers anywhere? Do you have to go over there? They should give you a taste of what it is. Like, what are the questions? What are the answers? Let me see if I can get it real quick. Did his group get shut down? Does anyone have any of those posted anywhere, the question and answer? Because I sure would like to read some of what the questions were. So that's going on over on Nick's page, while over on Ken's page, I wanted to see if anything had changed, and he's still not posting anything. There's no videos and everything's privated, so he still has his page locked down. But we know we heard from his mother, so we want to hear a little bit of something. We could probably go to his mother's page. And, so what's going to happen to this love triangle? What is your predictions, you guys? Do you think Ken's going to make it out alive? Are we putting Ken's hair transplant on the 2024 bingo card, Gypsy Rose? Because I'm willing to put that up there. Ken Urker, hair transplant, 2024 or early 2025. I really hope that Ken Urker, unalived by Ryan, is not part of the bingo card. I hope that is not a prediction that will ever happen. But how can we be sure? How can I feel good? I can't ever feel good about her again after watching that video. I just feel like it put it all in perspective. And I feel like if you go over there and you watch the whole thing, you might feel exactly how I feel about this whole situation. I feel sick about it. I feel sick that she is a millionaire. I feel sick because her docuseries is about to come out, so she's going to be making tons of bank. And I just feel sick that we're watching this modern day grift happen. Like, who is that Russian Anna? It was a docu-series about her, and she just tricked all of the rich people in New York, and they gave her so much money. She's not even going after the rich people. She's going after you and me, the poor people. Or I'm just, I guess you know what? I'm assuming that everybody's poor like me, and that's not the case. But she's going after me, who's poor. Me, she's trying to get us to believe her and stick up for her and, I don't know, like buy whatever she's hawking. And right now she's doing the cash grab for the book and the docu series, and I just feel really gross and sick about it. And I just wonder how it's all going to end. So you guys, I think that's all I'm going to do today. Just checking to make sure I got everything. Yesterday, I did a quick thing on Banny, the little baby elephant that we're supporting. If you're wondering who the baby elephant is in the videos, in the opening and closing intro and outro, her name is Baby Banny, and she was hit by a train, and we are supporting her, donating a portion of her proceeds to her. And if you want to know more about her, I talked about her for about 20 minutes, how she was hit, what they're doing for her, and all that. We're really proud to be supporting Banny, and we couldn't do it without your support, without your clicks, without your views. Little extra way to support us is to become a member of the Dragonflies. That's the Parawoman Radio members. We are called Dragonflies. And it's $2.99 a month. And I do shout outs. The videos get released early, and we have a Monday members Dragonfly live that we do. We love dragonflies. And did you know that the dragonflies are found in fossils, and they're around with the dinosaurs, and that they used to be as big as yardsticks, but they shrunk because their habitat has shrunk? They've just like adapted that well. And they also win a gold medal for being the best creature with wings to fly. They're the best flyers because they can fly up, down, right, left, back and forth. They're freaking amazing. And they're one of the top eaters of mosquitoes. Unfortunately, their habitat is decreasing, just like the other pollinators out there. But I love my dragonflies. And if you want to be a member, be a dragonfly, I invite you. I would love to have you. We're 11 dragonflies strong, 12 if you count me, and I do count me. So there's 12 of us now. Can't even believe it. Like, this channel is just growing and growing and growing. And I'm so grateful for you guys. You've certainly made my life different. And the dog is growling at the bird, if you hear that. The dog doesn't have any teeth, and actually the dog is afraid of the bird. The bird bites the dog. So there's no harm coming to anyone here. I love you guys. If nobody's told you that, I'm telling you it. I love you guys, and if you were here, I would give you a big virtual hug. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh, wait, let me hop over into chat real fast and see what you guys are saying. I forget to do that sometimes. After you see the clip, you know exactly who has Gypsy thinking she's some kind of celeb, and it's Christy. Yeah. Yeah, Christy is really playing into her being a celebrity because Christy's getting paid too. Yeah, Christy, but Christy's a hustler. If you look at her page, like she sells crafts and she makes things, and so she's somebody that makes money. And it's been said that Rod will show up for money too. So I don't know. I find it all so depressing. Like after watching the video, I feel depressed about it. And so I got to go think about it and try to think about something else. Do some positive thinking about my life because I can't control this. All I can do is report it. So, you guys, I love you so much. If nobody's told you this today, I'm telling you this. I love you guys. Shoot. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Someday you'll know. You know what I'm going to say. I've been feeling this way for far too long.